I request everyone present here to please take their seats and mute their mobile phones. A very good morning to all our respected dignitaries, faculty members, and students. I, Dr. Parijat Bhattacharjee, Assistant Professor at Amity University, Hyderabad, on behalf of Haryana, on behalf of Amity University, Haryana, would like to take the opportunity to warmly welcome each one of you to our G-20 sensitization lecture on fostering peace, harmony, and hope for a blissful world. We are extremely privileged to have amongst us our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. P.V. Sharma, Rear Admiral K.K. Pandey, Director HR, our esteemed guest of the day, Swami Mukundanandaji, Dr. Sanjana Vij, and all the other members of the Amity University Haryana fraternity. Shubham Karoti Kalyanam, Arogyam Dhanasampadam, Shatru Buddhi Vinashaya, Deepa Jyoti Namastupe. Deepa Jyoti Parabrahma, Deepa Jyoti Janardana, Deepa Me Haratu Papam, Deepa Jyotir Namastute. Prayer is an invocation of the heart, a calling forth of divine energies to be manifested in one's life. Time spent in prayer refreshes, renews, and strengthens our body and soul. As is the practice at Amity University of offering prayers to Ma Saraswati on all the auspicious occasions, let us begin this lecture with the lamp lighting ceremony. May I invite Dr. Sunita, Associate Professor, Department of Mathematics, to sing the Saraswati Vandana.
Shubham Karoti Kalyanam Arogyam Dhanasampada Shatrubhuti Vinashaya Deepa Jyoti Namaste Deepa Jyoti Namaste, 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 namo namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matrurupena Samsthita. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matrurupena Samsthita. Namaste, 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 namo namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti-rupe Samsthita. Namaste, 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 namo namah. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sunita. Now, I kindly request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. P.V. Sharma, to kindly felicitate our distinguished guest, Swami Mukundanandaji. May I now invite Dr. Sanjana Vij, Program Director, Academic Staff College, Head Center of Excellence Innovation in Education and Deputy Dean Students Welfare, to give the opening address.
Good morning to our distinguished guests, dignitaries on the dais, dear colleagues, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of G-20 University Connect program and Academic Staff College, Amity University, Haryana, I extend a very warm welcome to each one of you for an inspiring lecture today on G-20 Presidency, Fostering Peace, Hope, Harmony for a Blissful World by Swami Mukundanand Mukundanandji, who is a great spiritual global leader, Vedic scholar, and IIT and IIM alumnus. A very warm welcome to you, Swamiji. Swamiji, we have listened to you earlier also. We have requested Mr. Ayushji to send your video recording during orientation day on 29th of August 2022, wherein you have sent your video recorded message on the topic role of values and ethics in life, wherein you have highlighted that the self-discipline is the mantra to succeed in the life. It was highly impactful, fruitful lecture, and everybody liked that lecture, sir. So we are looking forward to have the similar kind of session today as well. As Amity believes in creating the culture of modernity, which blends with tradition, and also developing the human beings, which are full of values and sanskars. We are very happy to have with us our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor P.B. Sharma-ji, who is a great visionary educationist. Above all, he is a great human being, and recently has been conferred by Ambassador of Peace by the Universal Peace Federation of India in partnership with Youth and Students for Peace India in 2022. Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor P.V. Sharma has always given emphasis on creating peace and harmony within the university, and it all reflects through his thoughts, actions, and deeds. We are so happy to have with us our HR Director, Real Admiral K.K. Pandey with us today. We are so happy to have with us our esteemed dignitaries, faculty members, students, research scholars who are from multidisciplinary streams. Swamiji, we have students from science background, from management, from liberal arts, humanities, sciences. So they are from multidisciplinary departments. We are so happy to have the participants who have connected to us today through virtual modes. So a very warm welcome to each one of you. I'm very happy to reiterate that Amity University Gurugram has been chosen by G20 India Presidency, G20 Presidency to conduct lots of programs to create an awareness among youth. And we are among one of them, and Amity University Haryana is very proud of that. And in this connection, Amity University Haryana has organized various programs to create an awareness among youth as far as G20 presidency is concerned. As you all know, that the G20 logo is a lotus flower, and this lotus symbolizes hope in these times, wherein we are struggling with the after effects of COVID, we are struggling with the conflicts and the economic uncertainties. So G20 has come at the right time, and the logo of G20, that is lotus, symbolizes the hope for everyone. No matter how the crises are, the lotus will still blooms. Similarly, even if the world is facing any kind of crisis or problems, we can still stand up, progress, and make this world a happy place. The logo of G20, on the logo of G20, Earth is also placed on Lotus too, which aims at to bring the world together with harmony and with respecting diversity. So I would like to read two lines of our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, underlined on 1st December 2022, that the G20 has conveyed a strong message in favor of peace and harmony, and stressed that without peace and security, future generation will not be able to take advantage of economic growth or technological innovations. So let us join together to make India's G20 presidency a presidency of healing, harmony, and hope. Let us work together to shape a new paradigm of human-centric globalization. And today's program is also aims to promote and educate our young minds to tell them the importance of respect, empathy, culture of peace, collaboration, cooperation among individuals, cooperation among the world. Today's lecture will also aims towards to make them the agent, agent of change, to promote peace, harmony, and hope within their community and within the world. So dear students, peace and harmony are the basic requirements for any country, and the citizens of those countries will be happy when the atmosphere, when the ecosystem of that country is positive and peaceful. So we don't have to blame each other, rather we have to respect each other, we have to encourage each other, we have to highlight each other so that we can make this world a better place to live in. And in the last, I will just say that don't keep these things only by saying. You have to implement, you have to prove in your thoughts, in your actions, and in your deeds. With these words, I would like to extend once again a very warm welcome to Swami Mukanandanji. Please give him a big, huge round of applause to Swami Mukanandanji. We are also having with us Professor W. Selvamoorthy ji with us, who has connected through Amity, Noida, to listen this inspiring lecture. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vich. A reputed academician, Professor Dr. P.V. Sharma, currently the Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Gurugram, has been the founder Vice Chancellor of Delhi Technological University. Sir, you're most welcome.
I'm sure you all know your Vice Chancellors very well. But I stand before you today to extend a very warm welcome from the core of our heart to Swami Mukundanandaji, who is very dear to us for several reasons. And we are extending this warm welcome to Swamiji today as a part of our celebration of G20 Presidency University Connect, of which Amity University, Haryana, in fact, is a part. The country selected 75 universities in our country, and the choice also was narrowed down to Amity University, Haryana. There must be something different here compared to many other universities. There are 1,000+ universities in India, including more than 22 IITs, matching number of NITs, almost 120 institutions of national importance, selecting 75 universities as a part of University Connect, and then Amity University, Haryana getting a place in that club 75 of universities must be something special. And therefore, it's very important for us to understand the importance of G20 presidency, but more than that, the importance of inviting Swamiji today, and that too for the connect to the young, inspired minds of students and faculty. not only of our own university, but universities around the country to which I have extended the invitation to get connected online for such an important program. On behalf of our Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, on behalf of my very dear inspirational leader, Honorable Chancellor Dr. Singh Chauhan, and on behalf of the entire Amity University fraternity, Swamiji, may I take this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to you for sparing your valuable time to be with us on an auspicious occasion like this, which is also the Hanuman Jayanti with the whole country, and Indians, no matter where in what country they are celebrating it. I spoke to my grandchildren as well as my son in America, and he was telling me that a grand preparation has been made in the Hindu temple in Boise, where he is, to celebrate Lord Hanuman Jayanti. This is the auspicious occasion on which we had invited Swamiji to address each one of you on a theme which is so important and so dear and must be so dear for each one of you, that is G-20 Presidency, fostering peace, harmony, and hope for a blissful world. And no one other than our own supersonic scientist, country's top-notch defense scientist, Dr. Silvamurthy. He is also here on the screen. Dr. Silvamurthy had been the Chief Controller of Accounts in the Ministry of Defense, and he is heading our Amity Universe Foundation for Science and Innovation here for all of our Amity University. Swamiji, we are leading from the front in the area of science and technology, but we believe that science and technology is not only for those who graduate in science or graduate in engineering or work in engineering and technology profession. Science is for all. Whether you are a social scientist, whether you are a management consultant, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are a medical practitioner, or even an ordinary human being, science is for all. And science is for all, and that is why people like us have been created from what you call the molecules, and through the molecular manufacturing, one of the highest level of engineering and technology integrated into the most advanced system of production, that people like us are here on this planet Mother Earth. Each one of you must feel very happy being part and parcel of the science, the great science of life, the great science of nature, the great science of God that has created this beautiful world around you. And therefore, it must be very important for you to have the highest respect for science and technology integrated into all walks of life and all aspects of human endeavor, no matter what you do. Today, they are talking of financial engineering, social engineering, even political engineering and political science and financial science and management engineering. So science and engineering, in fact, is for all. Why I'm saying this? Because Swamiji graduated from IIT Delhi in 1982. Around the time I was also there in IIT Delhi, and as the luck will have it, we both were in the same department. I followed the conventional route and appeared before you in this race today as the Vice Chancellor. Swamiji took the other route because he shouldered the great responsibility of illuminating and inspiring the minds of the people, not only here in India, but around the world, as ordained by his great Guru, Jagat Guru Kripaluji Maharaj, that this world should not only think of the capabilities and prosperity of the kind which each one of us, and great career which we each one of us so well desire. Of course, you would desire to be the top notch in the organization to which you would like to work. You would like to have the highest level of prosperity, but do not forget that all this will have no meaning unless there is peace in the world, unless there is harmony in the society, unless you look after Mother Nature and its beauties around, then only you will be able to survive with good health and lead a blissful life. And therefore, the agenda for higher education in general and higher education in particular in the university cannot remain merely confined to creating people who are future ready to work in today's or tomorrow's industries or corporates. It has to go beyond and ensure that the future ready workforce of tomorrow, the entrepreneurs of tomorrow, those who will lead the world tomorrow also are great human beings who understand the value of peace, harmony, and the value and worth of their own life and the life around, and they should shoulder great responsibilities on their shoulders to maintain this beautiful world better than what has been handed over to us by our forefathers. Unfortunately, during the last almost 100 years, we have become accustomed to utilizing science and technology, causing a great harm to nature, and we are paying a heavy price for it. We have millions of the people in this world who are suffering from cancer. We are getting heart attacks at an early age of 30, including here in our country. And we, of course, have tested the fruits of the deadly virus COVID-19, which still continues to knock at our doorsteps. How could it be that despite all advancement that we made on the scientific front, we forgot to shoulder our responsibility towards Mother Nature, towards God Almighty and this creation of which we are a part? I think the lessons learned from the COVID-19 must make a better sense of India's G-20 presidency. Now you have the opportunity to tell the world what our forefathers have told us when perhaps the science and technology of the modern kind was not there. In those days, when there was no digital science, there is no digital technology, they were able to connect with mind-to-mind connectivity and show to the blind King Dhritarashtra the minute-to-minute happening of the Mahabharata war as if somebody is relaying the minute-to-minute account from the battlefield. They were able to transfer the knowledge of the Brahmastra and all Agnyastra and all sophisticated missiles and weapons through mind-to-mind connectivity from the Rishi Vishwamitra to Lord Rama, who went there to learn all the tricks and trades to ensure that the demons of the kind who are hell-bent to destroy the righteous life on planet Mother Earth are eradicated with certainty. Our forefathers in those days, when there was no digital age, they declared Satyamev Jayate Nanatam. Today, digital age has compelled each one of you, and I want to warn all my younger people sitting here in front of me that no one is spared today. If no one else, God Almighty is watching all of us, and whatever we say, whatever we do, whatever we transact, whatever we communicate is being taken note of and being recorded. And therefore, in the years to come, we all will comply to the dictate of the Vedic proclamation, Satyamev Jayate Nanatam Satyena Pantha Yadato Devyana. Our Bhagavad Gita has ordained us to pay the highest consideration and respect for self-discipline. Let no one tell the Vice Chancellor or any one of you what to do and what not to do. You are supposed to be responsible for yourself and to the surrounding to which you belong to. And that is why self-discipline, what is called intrinsic discipline, is most important for the pursuit of knowledge or for leading a dignified life with integrity, with righteous conduct and morals of the kind which the world will dictate tomorrow. You will have machines and systems of tomorrow which will ensure that ethics and morals for professionals are complied with. If I wish to use my laptop for a wrong cause, the laptop will give me a warning. Vice Chancellor, sir, I'm not supposed to discharge this command of you. Still you insist, it will warn you again with folded hands, sir. I request you not to force me to do this. And if you dare ask it to do it third time, it will say, I've locked your laptop. Now you go back to Hewlett Packard or whoever has supplied you your system and pray to them to unlock it. And there they will conduct a trial to ask you why the hell you have gone on the path of misuse of the provisions which I have made in the software. The software itself will have integrated subroutines of ethics and morals for the digital age, and there would be no escape, no matter at what age you are or what level of hierarchy you are. It is this kind of world which is in the making. The world tomorrow would also require you to remain happy and healthy. You have to take care of your own health. No amount of medicines or super specialty hospitals would be able to create health, good health for all, the mission that has been chartered by the United Nations as well as WHO. Unless you take care of yourself, unless you become self-disciplined, unless you understand the meaning and purpose of peace, harmony, and blissful life, nobody would be able to save you. Swamiji had understood it much earlier than me, right at the time of graduation from IIT Delhi, and thereafter post-graduating from IIM Calcutta, and took a mission to convince each one of you that each one of you are the chosen sons and daughters of Mother India. And therefore, you have a responsibility to live a life of peace, of harmony, of hope, and give this hope to the rest of the world also, because your forefathers have not only talked about India, they have said, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya. The survey included everybody around the world. And they also said, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is the motto of G20 presidency. So we have a great opportunity in India during this year, which is also the Amrit Mahotsav year for our country's independence, to use G20 presidency to lead from the front and show the torchlight of divine bliss to the rest of the world, so that the world at large can live a life of peace and harmony. Look at the people of capability. They are hitting each other today. Would you ever understand why Russia is hitting their own brothers and sisters in Ukraine, and that too with the most lethal vehicles of weapons of the kind you can imagine? Is that the purpose of becoming strong and mighty, or the purpose of becoming strong and mighty to eradicate the sufferings of the vast humanity around? You have to ask yourself. And unless you understand all these intricacies of life, my dear friend, life would be more miserable than what it is today. Let me finish by telling you that on one hand, India is rising and rising to great glory. On the economic front, we have already surpassed the imagination of United Kingdom. We are in the club top 5 in the GDP. Tomorrow you may be number 1 in the world in terms of economic strength. And the chances are right, in fact, in that direction. But question is, would you be a happy country? Would you be a country where people will not overtake from the left and kill each other? Would you be a country maintaining peace and harmony in the society? Would you be a country where the air quality is such that even gods and goddesses would like to come and live in India? Would you have a country where water quality is such that you would be able to say, Ganga, Tera Pani Amrit? These are the questions. And unless you understand your responsibility, all those who are laughing today, some of them I can see here in the 4th or 5th row, they would be crying and weeping that why the hell I have not taken the dictate in 2013 seriously and rose to the occasion to contribute my own share in the direction of creating a peaceful and blissful world. Ladies and gentlemen, we in Amity University consider it a matter of great privilege and honor to have Swami Mukundananda ji, who will be sharing with you his matured wisdom of the age-old tenets of our great heritage, and share with you how the modernity can be blended with the rich and profound wisdom of our antiquity in creating a world of peace, world of harmony, the world of hope, which we all wish to achieve in our own lifetime. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, I extend a very warm welcome to our very distinguished speaker of the day, Swamiji. I am purposely dressed in this form. Not every day I am here, in fact, like this, but today was Hanuman Jayanti. I expect each one of you also to understand that on special occasions, you are supposed to be looking like Indians, as good as your forefathers were, with telecom and everything, all decorations, so that you take pride in being an Indian, not just copying the Western world and flowing along that direction. I myself studied in Birmingham for 5 years, and of course I had great respect for the Western world for many of the good things they do, but our own nation cared a lot for the nature, and that's why it was the happiest award in the whole world. Today we are miserable because we have forgotten our responsibility to our own society, to our own people, to the mother earth, to the environment around, and we are paying a heavy price for it. I do not want this to continue for the generation that is in fact so vibrant, so enthusiastic, so energetic to create a better world compared to what the world we have created for them in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big hand to Swamiji for sparing his highly valuable time for being with us today. Swamiji, with utmost respect, may I request you to kindly share your profound wisdom with our people. That's a few words of introduction by Parijat, who is so good in fact about Swami. But take Swamiji
Thank you so
seriously.
much, sir.
Swamiji is not an ordinary
Kind
Swami.
words.
Swamiji is a graduate of IIT Delhi and also
Our
IIM
esteemed guest,
Calcutta. Yeah.
Swami Mukundananda Ji, is a best-selling author, an authority on mind management, a teacher of yoga and holistic health for thousands of seekers across the globe. Just a moment, sir.
Carry on.
I'll finish it as soon as possible. A senior disciple of Jagadguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj and an alumnus of IIT and IIM, Swamiji is a highly gifted and charismatic personality. He has dedicated his life to guiding millions worldwide on the path of happiness and fulfillment for more than 4 decades. His unique and profound approach to self-involvement blends scientific theories and perfect logic with his decades-long mastery of Vedic scriptures. In an age where spiritual awakening and knowledge has found utmost relevance in modern lives, Swamiji has founded JK Yog, a charitable and volunteer-driven organization which works towards comprehensive development of the society by addressing the physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual dimensions of human personality. As an internationally acclaimed expert of mind management and yogic sciences, he teaches many powerful yet simple techniques for life transformation. His illustrations, through humorous stories and real-life examples, stay with you long after you listen to them. In this way, he not only addresses all modern-day problems that plague the minds of many, but he also aspires people to practically incorporate timeless divine wisdom into their daily lives. Many have found solace in the best-selling books on Amazon and a multitude of other literary compositions of all ages. Swamiji has over 2 million followers on social media. He lectures 7 days a week, conducts seminars, workshops, and retreats all over the world, including Fortune 500 corporations and Ivy League universities. Over and above the preaching activities, Swamiji also heads a charitable medical hospital, naturopathy care and yoga center, university education, and vocational training in rural India. May I now invite our esteemed guest, Swami Mukundananda Ji. Over to you, sir.
Kindly pen down your questions so that we can have question and answer session after Swamiji's session. Please have a seat.
Honorable Professor P.B. Sharma, and all the faculty, staff, and students of the Amity University who are attending this program in person or online. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to connect with the wonderful youngsters of our country. The topic for me is G-20 Presidency, Fostering Peace, Harmony, and Hope for a Blissful World. What is the G-20? It's an organization of 19 most influential countries of the world plus EU, the European Union, which has 28 countries. Thereby, the G20 represents 47 countries, which constitute 2/3 of the world's population, which are responsible for 75% of the world trade, and which are also responsible for 85% of the world's GDP. So India's presidency is being viewed by experts worldwide in a spirit of optimism and hope. This is probably the first time that India has taken on such an important role at a world level. What is this function of the G20? I am sure you have heard a lot of jargon which doesn't make sense. Because before I came for this lecture, I also read the jargon. Let me explain it to you in simple terms. In the year 2000, when PCs started becoming popular, and then around 2007 and 8, when mobiles started becoming popular, there was one problem that the biggest companies were facing. Nokia, Ericsson, Microsoft, Apple, Motorola, and the problem was lack of compatibility. They all had different sockets, different connectors, different connecting wires, different requirements for power. And this was creating a lot of confusion worldwide. I had a devotee who was working in Samsung at that time, and he introduced me to the fact that these biggest of companies were having meetings amongst themselves to come to a kind of agreement to finalize a protocol regarding the sockets, regarding the connectors, regarding the power cables, etc. And to some extent, we see now we come to the world stage, where we have such big countries interacting. The same kind of problem arises. We have various economies, and now they are engaging in world trade, making all these economies vulnerable. Where one economy failing causes a cascading effect throughout the world. And that is why in the year 1999, the G20 was formed. Initially, it was a forum for the finance ministers and heads, the governors of central banks, to coordinate financial and economic matters. However, in the year 2007, what happened in the year 2007, does anybody remember? There was a global recession, that's right. And at that time, the importance of G20 increased. And it was promoted to the heads of nations. Further on, the organization displayed more plurality by splitting itself. Presently, it has got two streams. The first is the finance stream, and the second is the Sherpa stream. And the work of the Sherpa stream is to coordinate matters of digital governance, matters of climate change, global warming, and the like. India assumed presidency on which date? Okay. Those who are sleeping, can I point out? Can you tell me when did India assume presidency? Anyone? 1st of December. How long will the presidency be? This time I'm going to point out people who are speaking. How long will the presidency be? Yes. That's right. So India has taken on this challenge head on. They have planned 200 meetings over 50 cities all around the country and covering 32 streams of activities. Why is it such a tremendous opportunity for India? Because we get a chance to forge the global dialogue to steer it along the lines that are aligned with India's values and to present the voice of peripheral and semi-peripheral nations to the core nations. When India gained independence, when was that? Everybody knows, right? At that time, we chose a pluralistic society. We chose a democracy, which was much different from our neighbors, which kept moving from monarchies, from dictatorships to democracies and back to dictatorships. They chose theocracies, and we chose the secular principles. And that is why we can present multilateral views to the world. Apart from that, we have had a colonial past. We understand what it means to be a poor country and to move ahead from there. So we can present the voice of the poor and the underprivileged for a more equitable distribution of the fruits of progress. Now, India has picked the slogan as the leader of G-20. And what is that slogan? Let me see who's speaking. Everybody is silent. Great. Okay, go ahead. What's the slogan? Yes, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We have one of our Upanishads called the Maha Upanishad. It states, Ayam Nija Paro Veti Gananam Laghu Chetasam Udara Charitanam Tu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That translates to, this is mine, that is yours. So think people with small minds. Those with big thinking, they embrace Vasudha. Vasudha means the earth. They embrace the whole earth as their family. And when we talk about the earth, it includes all creatures, the humans, the animals, the insects, the microorganisms, all of them included. So India's slogan is so beautifully coined. After Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, there are 3 phrases. Does anybody know those 3? I can hear somebody speaking there. Why don't you get up? Yes. What are the 3 phrases? One earth, one family, one future. If you work hard for a year, you would not be able to better this slogan that India has come up with. See, modern science is realizing the connectivity between all the organisms in the ecosystem. Earlier on, we used to think, what purpose does that earthworm serve? But now we realize it is aerating the soil for the survival of the organic content within it. It is also breaking down organic content, thereby enhancing the fertility of the soil. Likewise are the bees. Can you imagine a world without bees? Most of the pollination that happens is because the work that bees are doing. Like that, the 8.4 million species are all serving a certain function in this ecosystem. They take and they give back. We human beings are the only ones who keep on taking and forget to give back. And what is the consequence of that? Today, the human waste is being produced in such large extents that it is disrupting the entire environment. And people are worried. The oceans are getting polluted. The air is getting polluted. The earth is getting polluted. Will the future generations be able to survive if we continue at this rate? There is the phenomenon of global warming, which you all have heard. But do you know why does global warming happen? Would any of the science students like to explain? It starts with the greenhouse effect. When carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor increase in the atmosphere, it creates the greenhouse effect, where the earth, it captures the energy of the sun. There is a greenhouse around the earth. If these gases were not present, the earth would have been 31 degrees cooler than it is. The fact that we have got some amount of carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, makes an average temperature around the earth of 15 degrees centigrade, which is very comfortable. Over the last 150 years, the temperature is increased by 1.5 degrees centigrade. And the consequences of this melting of snow caps, changing of climate, storms, famines, and so many other things. Scientists are worried if this trend continues, we will again increase 1.5 degrees centigrade, leading to disaster. The UNEP, United Nations Environment, did a study and came to the conclusion that the deterioration of environment in the world is happening at a much faster rate than earlier thought of. So on one side, you are getting good education, to get good money, to get facilities. And on the other side, we are burning up the earth and making it uninhabitable for your children and your grandchildren. In this situation, India has come to the help, the leadership of this G-20 group. And India has formulated 6 priority points. Do take a look at them. What can India contribute to this situation? Well, first of all, it is our value system. You know, before I came to this hall, the Honorable Vice Chancellor was telling me that we have got a Goshala on campus with 100 cows. What an amazing culture in our country where we look on the cow as our mother, Go Mata. When I go to the West, people say, why do you all not eat the cow? They ask me, why don't you eat the cow? And I say, because we drink its milk. On one hand, you're drinking its milk, and the moment it is unable to give milk, you decide to chop it off and eat it. That's a very cruel perspective to life. So we prefer to look on it as the mother. But we don't only see the cow as the mother. We see the earth as the mother. We look on it as Prithvi Devi. In English, they do say Mother Earth, but they are stripping it of all its resources. Whereas we had a culture where you wake up in the morning and you touch the earth and put it on your head. And, oh, Mother Earth, I'm going to put my feet onto you. May I discharge my responsibilities properly? We look on the rivers as the mother. Ganga Mata, Yamuna Mata, we see the whole environment as venerable. Now imagine if that perspective could be brought back. Would we not be more respectful towards the environment? Would we not automatically adopt a lifestyle more conducive to the environment? It would be a natural consequence. Further, we talk about global peace. This is another question that is being asked, particularly in the West. People ask me in interviews, is global peace ever possible? The United Nations was established in 1945. And after so many years, 79 years, we are still struggling how to establish global peace. And the latest Ukraine-Russia conflict has just enhanced the awareness to this problem. I was once invited to the United Nations to give a talk on the same topic, world peace. So I said, look, the world is not a nuclear entity. It consists of individual units that are people like you and me. The world can only be at peace when each of us is at peace. So I said, talk about world peace through peaceful pieces. One philosopher put it very well. He said, to have a more peaceful world, you need more peaceful nations. For more peaceful nations, you need more peaceful communities. And that is a result of more peaceful families, which are a consequence of peaceful individuals. Now for you, the agitation in your own mind is more important than world peace. Tell me the truth, is it or is it not? If there's a fight going on in the family, doesn't that concern you much more than world peace? So when we talk about world peace, we have to start off from the unitary level. Why is there so much of agitation today? I joined the IIT in 77, and I was amazed to hear that Professor P.V. Sharma was a professor in my department around the same time, mechanical engineering. In those days, we used to cycle all over Delhi. All students had cycles. The one who had a motorcycle or a scooter was considered highly opulent. And we were all more conservative. Somebody who had girlfriends and boyfriends were considered very modern. The world has changed a lot from there. But I ask you one thing. Are you people happier than we were? You ask yourself, are you happier than your grandfathers were? Astonishingly not. The statistics reveal that over the last 75 years since independence, the average income per capita, after discounting for inflation, has increased 700% in India. The number of crore-patis has increased 1,000-fold. However, the number of people saying they are happy has reduced to half. The teen suicide rate has increased 3 times. The depression rate has increased 4 times. And the divorce rate in India has increased 5 times. Yet, India's divorce rate is the lowest in the world. Today itself, I went to check up, and on Wikipedia, they had the list. India did not figure on the list because the divorce rate in India is still so low, and yet we are catching up. So the question is, what is the progress that we are making? Is it making us happier or not? You have to decide what is your definition of success. Would you like to tell me the definition for success? Yes, that gentleman there. Go ahead. Okay, everybody watch out. I've got good vision. We feel somebody getting rich means becoming successful. Becoming famous is the idea of success. You measure success by the number of subscribers you have on your Insta page, etc. But none of this seems to provide more happiness. The most successful solo artist in the world has been, do you know? Okay, the most followed person on Twitter is Justin Bieber, right? And Justin Bieber said, people think I am very happy because they see the externals. They don't know the other side. I have to drag myself to get through from moment to moment. This is Justin Bieber, but the most successful in the entire history of modern music was Elvis Presley. Has anybody heard of his name? Right. So Elvis Presley, he had so much of fame, so much of wealth, so much of power. However, he was so unable to take care of his own mind that after his program, his professional program, he would tell his servants, give me the first hit. They would put an injection behind his shoulder blade and give him some crystals, some barbiturates, and he would go off to sleep. And the next time he would wake up would be at 4 a.m. in the morning, where with less enthusiasm, he would say, give me my second hit. And the same procedure would follow. And the next time he would wake up would be about midday. And whether he asked for it or not, his servants would give him the third hit. And finally, before his show, he would take some drugs to wake up and go for his performance. When he died, people didn't know whether it was because of an overdose of drugs or whether it was suicide. So, where is real happiness? And the direction in which we are running, do we get happiness there or do we not? Let me tell you a joke. It's only meant to be a joke. Once, a VIP visited a house for the mentally challenged, where people who were not in their sanity were residing. And they went to the first cell. The person there was saying, Layla, Layla, Layla. The VIP asked the warden, why does he go on saying Layla, Layla, Layla? The warden said, you know what? He loved this girl called Layla. And she did not marry him. She married somebody else. He went mad. So he just keeps taking her name. The person said, understandable. They continued to the next cell. There also somebody was sitting and saying, Layla, Layla, Layla. The VIP said, this is astonishing. Did Layla have any lovers? The warden explained, this is the man who married Layla. See, I've got nothing against wives. The same is the problem with husbands. I've heard of this wife who was sleeping with her husband at night. And in the morning, the husband woke up disturbed. And he said to his wife, "Look, darling, you seem to be having a very bad dream last night. You were telling me the nastiest of things." The wife said, "I was not dreaming." So we are all hoping we will get happiness. And the question is, where does happiness lie? We talk about having a prosperous world. What does a prosperous world mean? Where you can enjoy unlimited sex, where you can eat as many rasgullas and samosas, where you can see all the movies and maybe take a bottle whenever you like. Just before coming to the hall, I was sitting with some of your faculty members and they offered me some sweets. And they said, "Swamiji, please enjoy this laddu." I said, I prefer not to take the laddus. I have come here today to tell the students of a happiness that is higher than laddus, of a happiness that requires no objects from the outside, of a happiness that is available to each and every one of us. It is lying within us, if only we know how to reach it. And how does that happiness come? Would you all like to hear the secret? Look, if you were in America, they would have charged you $200 consultancy. I'm giving it to you free. The secret of happiness. This episode happened about 25 years ago when I was in Bhubaneswar. Where is Bhubaneswar? That's right. So a retired chief engineer came to me. He said, "Swamiji, I am shattered." I said, "What happened?" He said, "My wife of the last 50 years has passed away. She left a void in my life, in my heart, that I'm not able to fulfill. I actually knew her from 55 years since she was in college. And we had such a nice time together. Suddenly she's gone. I don't know what to do with my life. Can you please tell me, how can I regain my happiness?" That got me thinking, what should I tell him? Should I tell him, it was in your karma? Then he'll become even more unhappy. My karma is bad. Then there's reason to lament further. Should I tell him it was the will of God that you suffer like this? Then he'll start fighting with God. Why did God do this injustice to me and not to the others? So instead, I asked him, "You loved your wife very much?" He said, "Swamiji, more than anything else." I said, "Did she love you to the same extent?" He said, "Swamiji, she loved me even more." I said, "Suppose, hypothetical case, you had left the world first. Would she have been able to bear the misery of separation?" He said, "Swamiji, never. She would have broken down completely." I said, "Look, by allowing her, you were both old, by allowing her to leave the world first, you have saved her from so much of misery. If she had outlived you, imagine what would have happened." The moment that retired chief engineer heard this, a light went on in his head. His entire sorrow disappeared. And he stood up. I said, "Where are you going? Listen a little more. I want to share some more wisdom with you." He said, no, Swamiji, I have got my answer. I don't need anything else. And he left. So what was the answer he got? He found a purpose in his suffering. See, the purpose is the biggest thing. If you have a higher purpose, you are willing to undergo any kind of austerities. What satisfies us from inside is the allegiance to a purpose that is higher than ourselves, that is aligned with our values, and that fills us with inspiration. In this case, he realized that he was suffering, but by doing so, he had saved his dear wife from suffering. And that sense of purpose gave him the strength he needed. So the question is, have you found a higher purpose in your life? Now, the idea mooted everywhere with all the materialism. You enjoy this, you go for a holiday out there, you get this, you will be happy. And let me tell you, it is an illusion. 40 years ago, when I was studying, everybody in India thought that America is like Golok, the abode of God. And the line in front of the American embassy was so big that people used to sleep at night for going there in the morning. So when I started going to America, I asked them there that everybody in India thinks, I asked the Indians out there, everybody in India thinks that you people are happy because you live in America, the land of plenty, the land of opportunity. Are you actually happy? So what happy, Swamiji? It's the same wine in new bottles. But then I realized that in America also the illusion continues. Once I was giving a lecture in Tampa, Florida. And on the last day of the lecture, a white lady asked me, Swamiji, where are you going from here? I said, tomorrow my lecture series begins in New York. And the moment she heard the word New York, she became all goggle-eyed. New York, woo! The land of Times Square and Broadway. Yes, anybody wants to say anything? Come up here. We don't like to hear you. Come on. So then I realized that in America, everybody is thinking we are not happy. Those who live in New York are happy. When I went to New York, I asked the New Yorkers, this is what the rest of America thinks of you. Are you all happy? But you don't need to ask New Yorkers. You just look at their face. You know, I like to, Bombay, Mumbai and New York is very similar. So in New York, when you have to travel by metro always and wait for 2.5 hours to find a parking spot in Manhattan, all the happiness gets squeezed out in any case. So the illusion is, what kind of happiness are you searching? Something that is ephemeral, something that thrills but never fulfills? Or are you looking for an inner happiness? That search will make you a better person, and that will enable you to do better things in this world. In JKO, that's the organization I founded, our slogan is this: do good, be good, and feel good. Everybody wants to feel good. What is the sutra? You do good. Look, you don't like studies, right? Nobody likes, I never liked it. But when you force yourself to study and do a good job of it, doesn't it make you feel good from inside? Naturally, it makes you feel good. Second point, when you try to improve yourself, one little delta, I must grow in my inner, my willpower, whatever. Does it not make you feel good? Of course it does. That is the real happiness. You do good, be good, and you will feel good. Now, on one side, we had this rampant growth, materialistic growth, and it has led the world to a place where we are at the edge of a catastrophe. And what is the problem? We've had so much of scientific advancement. So why are we struggling? When the scientific era, first of all, began, people thought science was like an anathema. It was like a cure-all. You know, we conquered smallpox in the 1970s and so many others, and people thought one day we will even conquer the disease called death. But today we see that the problems of humankind are there. They have changed in nature. Where has science failed? What is the failure of science? Very simple. Science does not have ethics. Science will put nuclear power in your command. Science will not tell you this is good use of the power, that is bad use of power. For that, you need another science, which is called spiritual science. What is the need for spirituality? You know, when we talk about religion, people turn off religion. Spirituality is the latest hip thing. You know, like in America, to be a yoga teacher is the latest fashion. We are very happy that our culture has been exported. But in India, the youth say, yeah, spirituality. You know, that is something really worth looking into. But what is the importance of spirituality? Okay, how many of you have heard of the name of a scientist called Einstein? Everyone. Einstein's words, he said, science has succeeded in denaturing the plutonium atom, but science cannot denature the evil in man's hearts. Think about it. There's the plutonium atom, and this can be denatured to produce nuclear energy. But can science denature the evil within? Supposing I go to the biggest of universities in the world and say, sir, I wish to purify my mind. Can you please tell me, Mr. Stanford professor, Mr. MIT professor, which subject in your university should I study? They will all lift their hands, say, sorry, we don't have this subject in our purview. That is where spiritual science comes in. Spiritual science is the means of going within yourself, of purifying your mind and manifesting the divinity within. And this is a gift that India can give to the Western world. Why? In the West, there has been a dichotomy between science and spirituality. Are you scientific or are you spiritual? You have to be one of the two. You can't be both. This started off in the time of Copernicus, when he said the sun is not the center of the universe. Sorry, the earth is not the center of the universe, the sun is. And he was treated with great suspicion by religious leaders. Since then, the dichotomy continued. In our culture, there's respect for both these branches of knowledge. The Mundaka Upanishad states, Dve Vidye, Veditavye, Parachaiva, Paracha. This Upanishadic mantra states there are two branches of knowledge. One is material knowledge, which helps you understand the world around and harness its forces for yourself. One is spiritual knowledge, which helps you understand your inner world and manifest the divinity within. Now we are neglecting that science. So why? That knowledge has been sidelined. And the idea of education has become what? The idea of education has become you earn your degree, go out and get money. So people want to become doctors, engineers, advocates so that they can get money. In other words, it's money-making education. Whereas Swami Vivekananda had put it so well, that education is the art of man-making, human-making, by which you become a better person. For that, you need spirituality. See, I would have loved to go on and on speaking, but with respect to the time, I would like to bring this to a quick conclusion. For India, it's our chance as the leader of the world stage to steer dialogue in alignment with our ancient cultures, values, and philosophy, and influence viewpoints as we go through this 1 year of presidency of G20. Thank you all very much.
You all have heard Swamiji. If nothing else, remember what the Swamiji said in the most simple English. That is, be good, do good, and feel good. If you take this mantra seriously, most of the evils and ills will disappear. You will be happy, you will be healthy, you will have prosperity alongside with happiness. India would then rise to number 1 on GDP, economically, and would be one of the topmost countries in the world in the happiness index. Today, you have to make a serious departure in the approach, both for science and technology, but also the way we prepare ourselves to respond to the challenges and responsibilities that we all have. I'm sure you must have many questions in your mind, and I have Dr. Silvamurthy sir also connected to this program. I will ask Dr. Silvamurthy after your question answers to say a few words. But any burning questions you have from Swamiji to press out, this is a rare opportunity to have Swamiji physically present here with us during the G20 India presidency, which is going to last only up to 30th of November 2023, as Swamiji has said. Please. Yes, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Swamiji. I would like to ask a personal question. What motivates to move into this spiritual path? As you have completed the IIT and
very good question, Swamiji. Why have you not become the chief of Microsoft rather than becoming a Swamiji? What prompted, what motivated you, sir? Please.
Well, thank you for your question, and thank you for your addition to the question. I was looking for a purpose, like I said to all of you. Why am I studying? Why am I in this world? So, just to study to earn money was not fulfilling enough. You know, that search for a higher purpose is one of the biggest searches in life. It is said the call of God when it awakens is the strongest call. And that is what I experienced. So I did start working. The Tata Burrows was the first IT company of India. It was collaboration between Tatas and Burrows. And there also I was wondering, is this what my life is meant for? So spiritual teachers, they explained to me that there is no shortage of engineers and MBAs in this world. There is need for educated youngsters who can understand spiritual science and explain to others. So with the desire of following this path for myself and having an opportunity of serving others with it, I took this.
And another question is, how can I maintain 24/7 peace and happiness. Like as within or maybe around us.
That's a very good question. Peace, if it depends on the environment, you can never maintain it 24/7. Because somebody in the environment says something and peace is gone. This is a mistake that most people, particularly youngsters, are making. To be peaceful, they need other things to change. And nowadays, the situation has changed further because they see posts of their friends on social media and it takes away their peace. Oh, he went for a vacation to Goa and I only went to Sona Springs. How often? Right? So it's created a phenomenon called FOMO. Somebody said, Theodore Roosevelt, an ex-president of America, said, comparison is the thief of joy. The moment you compare, you may have everything. You start comparing and your joy is gone. And that has now been brought online. It's one of the reasons for unhappiness for the youngsters. So the mistake being made here is that we are tying up our happiness with external things. The Vedas inform us that most important is your own mind. This mind is such a powerful thing. It can make heaven out of hell and hell out of heaven. You may be sitting in a beautiful air-conditioned hall of Amity University, but if you start thinking terrible thoughts, you will be unhappy. And you may be sitting on that chalk of the main road, with trucks going here and there. And if you can make your mind calm and peaceful, you will be happy. So the secret of finding peace 24/7 is the art of learning how to control the mind. Okay, this will be a complete topic in itself.
We are not to learn to understand how you could be happy in the most hostile environment. Anybody could be happy in good environment. But the mantra, be good, do good, and be good. Not only yourself, but I'm sure that your surrounding is also helping you to that. That's where you have it. I'm sure Swamiji had understood this much earlier than us, as we say. Swamiji, that's the just how the younger generation. That's the professor sitting in the front row. Very funny. But at an individual level, it is it cannot be isolated. If we go into and being obstacle, hindrances, blockages, these also good things. Honestly, we can't discard it. And there can never be any time for at least let us go on. Just wait on. So there must be a purpose. But for this
Okay, so I understand your question. Sorry to interrupt you. I understand your question. No doubt, the environment can have distress and it can have adversity as well. The art is how to be happy despite the adversity. See, the point is not everything is under your control. And one of the reasons people are unhappy is they are trying to change things that are not in their control. So if I'm saying I want to remove poverty from the world, now I'm unhappy. But if we focus on what is in our control, that is the best way to make a better world, right? So the point is this, that what is in your hands, you focus on that. And you will realize that despite the difficulties, all around. You can be happy. Consider this example. One newly married husband and wife. The husband came back from office and said, "Today is the best day in my life." The wife said, "What happened?" He said, "I was in a car accident and our BMW is smashed." The wife said, "I knew how you were attached to that BMW. It has gotten smashed and you're saying it's the best day in your life?" The husband said, "The car is smashed. I am safe. I only had a little scratch here. What is there of the car? The insurance will get it replaced. And even if it doesn't, we'll purchase a new one." Now imagine, in an accident, that husband is still happy. That is the art you need to learn, the art of positive reframing. You can always find reasons to be unhappy, but I am here to tell you that look, everybody's glass is half empty, but it's also half full. Start counting the blessings in your life, and you'll have many, many reasons to be happy. Let's give it to somebody else. Okay. All right. Yes, that is a very, very practical question. Sri Krishna says, "Sthita pragya sukhe dukhe same kritva labha labhau jaya jaya." It is the same thing which I was elaborating. Sri Krishna says, one who can remain equanimous in the midst of success and failure, fame and infamy, victory and defeat, heat and cold, such a person will be a sthita pragya. This will happen when you change your values. If your values are the externals are most important. How much money do I get? How much fame do I have? If these are your values, you can never be sthit pragya because the economy is going up and it's coming down. If your values are how I am is the most important thing. It will not make a difference. Okay, I lost out in business, but in the process, I learned so many things. I learned to be a better person. See, the problem is we are prioritizing what we have. And I am telling you to prioritize what you are. How much time in a year do you spend in trying to become a better person? Let's all think it out. That priority is not there because we have not given it a value. So, like I said, real happiness comes from within when you try and improve. Real happiness is not a consequence of what you have, but a consequence of what you are. It's not even a consequence of what you are. We may be terrible, but when we are trying to improve, the little delta for which we are struggling gives us that sense of happiness. So, unless your values are right, you cannot be a sthit pragya. And how will you develop the right values? When you have the right beliefs. If the beliefs are sabse bada rupaiya, then your values will be aligned with it. So you have to get the right beliefs. And how will you get the right beliefs? That's right knowledge. Not knowledge that comes out of the university called WhatsApp. Not knowledge that is gathered from hearsay. But we have got so many sacred books in our culture. You access those books You will find jewels. What you have referred to is one of the 700 verses in the Bhagavad Gita, right? You just access that amazing knowledge. You will develop great beliefs, which will result in beneficial values, which will make you a better person and make you do things that are truly useful to the world.
Greetings also. So, as slogan of G-20, one earth, one family, one future, we are discussing about peace. So when we see the basic problems, the core issues that is addressed in India, when we always tend to blame culture, religion as a means for development, growth. So do you think, or we can believe that religion or culture is an issue because we said one we used to believe that Earth was the center of the universe, then we had to change our belief system and to believe that Sun is the center of the universe. So how come we can change people's perspective that religion should be one side and grow the development the other one?
Okay, see, understand the difference between religion and spirituality. Religion includes the culture, the ceremonies, the rites, the processes. All right. So if you go on Char Dham Yatra, that is religion. If you go within yourself, that is spirituality. If you decorate yourself with tilak marks, that is religion. If you decorate your character with great values, that is spirituality. If you bathe in the holy Ganga, that is religion. If you bathe your mind in good thoughts, that is spirituality. So the real thing is spirituality, because that is going to result in purification. You can follow all the rites and rituals, but if we have not attached the mind, Krishna Krishna Sabhi Kahe Thag Thakur Aruchor, Bina Prem Rije Nahi Premi Nand Kishore. Your goal is spirituality, right? But religion is serving a purpose, because very few people can be truly spiritual. It's very subtle. Supposing I were to tell you all sit and meditate on good thoughts, how many would succeed in doing it? Religion is something that is tangible with which everybody can connect with, right? So sometimes our youth, they reject religion in the name of spirituality. When parents say, Mandir chalo, they say, I am spiritual, I am not religious. But the fact is, they are not being spiritual at home also. It's just become an excuse. So religion is a good thing for the masses. If you have become very spiritual, at that stage, you don't need it. So we should not criticize.
Spirituality is very simple. You have to act with responsibility. Behave with responsibility. And let yourself be responsible. And then you will see spirituality. It's so simple. Unfortunately, we have drifted away from the responsibility and purpose for which we come for education in university. Purpose is not to just take the Rockefeller or to be responsibility and shoulder the responsibility to serve Mother Nature, people around the world, including in our own country and world, and behave in a manner that God Almighty will see what it done.
I am actually so delighted to see that the Vice Chancellor of this university has got such tremendous values, so much of wisdom, such a lifetime of experience. I believe it is one of the good fortunes of Amity University to have such a great academician and human being at its head.
what is the difference? Body, mind and soul. I mean, how can you find your inner soul? The simplest way you can.
Good. Now we are going inwards. Finally, the curiosity has been aroused. What is the difference between the mind and the soul? See, as Indians, most of us have these sanskars. We realize I am not the body, right? The body is like the vehicle. For example, the driver sits in the car. Now, the driver is different from the car. Likewise, you have the body and you are the soul. However, there is a subtle body as well. That subtle body constitutes of many elements, and one of them is the mind. Now, what is this mind doing? सब लोग कहते हैं मन से परेशान है, मन नहीं लगता, लेकिन ये मन है क्या? The mind is like a factory that is constantly producing thoughts. The mind is not you. These thoughts are being produced by the mind. So God has given you with a gross machine and a subtle machine. So the mind is creating thoughts. Those thoughts can be unhappy. Aaj to mood off hai. People ask me, Swamiji, aapka kabhi mood off hota hai? Sometimes they ask me, Swamiji, you talk about positive thinking. Do you sometimes do negative thinking? Maybe privately in a room, do you do negative thinking? I say, if I scan my life for the last 8, 9, 10 years, I don't recollect one moment when I did negative thinking. Why? It's the art of mind management. The mind can create thoughts. It's a factory for thoughts. It may create happy thoughts. It may create sad thoughts. You don't have to adopt every thought. When you are thinking, I am the mind, yes, अब तो मैं ऐसे सोच रहा हूँ, अब मैं ऐसे सोचने लग गया, अरे ये कैसे सोच रहा हूँ? Just distance yourself. The mind is different, you are different. You are eternal. The mind is not eternal. You are divine. The mind is made of subtle matter. All right, so try and understand your superior nature beyond the body and the mind.
Well, I think the question is very, very tough. Vijnanvan Bhavati. Vijnanvan Bhavati. That will be a great scientist. And that's it. Yastu Vijnanvan Bhavati, Yastu Prajnanvan Bhavati. That means you go beyond science and integrate technology and science together. Yastu Vijnanvan Bhavati, Yastu Prajnanvan Bhavati. And the last part, mind or soul, it says Mansa Sada Suchi. Ensure that the purity of mind is upheld at all times, all moments, up to the last breath of your life. Then you will recognize that there is you, that is allowing you to aim and conduct with responsibility, giving you a faith that you are not an ordinary human being simply made of mud, but you have a faith of life. So you have mind and soul. I think only one way to be good books outside on the spiritual price from the I'm sure when you can find
Okay, so I would like to request the Vice Chancellor. We'll make this the last question.
My question might has a bit silly, I mean, answer might be obvious to other people, But, you know, the slogan that you said, key to happiness, that, you know, do good, be good, feel good. What is the definition of good in here? And is it universal, like good is universal for everybody? Is it good, like, you know, maybe different for you? And
Now she has taken the discussion into deep philosophy. Is there any such thing as absolute good? Today, you know, philosophy, Western philosophy evolved over a whole sequence from Socrates to Plato to Aristotle, and it went through the medieval periods. And today, philosophy has reached an era called postmodernism. And postmodernist thought says all is relative. There is no absolute good for anyone. It's all how you define it. You can define your own good. So you're all free to do whatever you wish. Because there is no absolute truth. That's postmodernism. The problem with that kind of thought is, if everybody is free to define what is their definition of good and bad, then how can you blame a terrorist who says it's a good thing to take a bomb into a populated area and kill people? He says it's bad. He says it's bad for you. It's good for me. Now somebody else says, I will not follow the traffic rules. I will not drive on the left side. Why? But it's a good thing. He says, no, for me, it's good to drive on the right side. So imagine the amount of chaos that would happen. Fortunately for us, there is a certain absolute truth. And it is because there is a truth that each of us instinctively have this urge to be good. Instinctively, I don't need to teach anyone. Have you ever been to jail? I've been many times. Not to get admitted to give lectures. So I have seen again and again that the convicts, they may have been convicted, but internally they all love goodness. And when you tell them things like our Honorable Vice Chancellor was talking about Satyamev Jayate, about truthfulness, about the valor of Shivaji, etc., they all get inspired. So where is this intrinsic love for goodness coming from? That search actually will take you to the Creator. The Vedas say the Creator is all good and you are a part of Him. And being a little fragmental part of Him, you have a natural propensity to love goodness. Okay, so that does not need to be, of course, as long as we are impure, we need certain rules and regulations, but ultimately, we all realize what goodness is. Nevertheless, if you want a scriptural definition, this is how the Vedic literature have defined it. Atmana pratipulani pareshan na samachare. Shruti smriti sadachara swasya cha priyamatmana. Do unto others. The Bible also says the same thing. As you want them to do to you. If you want others to behave kindly with you, then you do the same with them. So behave in a way that you would like others to behave with you, but do ensure it is aligned with the scriptures and doesn't go out of the limits. Right? So that would be a check, a validation. And that these are only external. Ultimately, when you come in touch with your soul, you will realize the goodness within. It doesn't need to be taught. It is there within you. I would like to thank all of you once again for having invited me. Such a pleasure. Thank you all very much.
And keep something very good for you. Good for and there are other good for the now. Keep something very love. But it's very God. They also say, God, keep something very good. But if you continue your search also, you will become not only good, but you will achieve everlasting peace, happiness, and harmony. Probably thank you so much indeed. But before I finally thank you, I have my very dear friend that Mr. Rahul TV on the screen, and I would request Mr. Rahul to have our scientific friendly to say a few words before we.
Thank you, Sharma ji. Swamiji pranams.
This
What a
is
great,
for 5 minutes, please. Just
Yeah.
for 5 minutes.
what a great blissful experience it was during the last couple of hours, that you have really shown that how to be happy in life and also how to create a happy world. Because the G-20, a great opportunity which has been given to India as presidency. It's a great opportunity for Vishwa Guru, a land of spirituality, which has produced spirituality across the globe. So how do we use this opportunity to create a blissful world? So in Amity, founder president Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, and the chancellors Dr. Atul Chauhan and Dr. Sim Chauhan, and all of us have been given a mission that we have to create that new world which you are talking about, the blissful world, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. So this is an opportunity for all of you children, the students, that we are giving you not only knowledge, but also spiritual knowledge. Not only skills, but also soft skills, behavior, sanskars, values, resilience to face challenges, so that we want you to create that blissful world. If each one of us is blissful, happy, and radiate that around, that field effect will create that world. So we as Indians have a great onerous of responsibility to shoulder this responsibility to create that blissful world. Who else can do? Because everybody talks about economic power, military power, knowledge power. But India is the only country which can also boast of having a spiritual power, which nobody talks about. But that is what is going to be the winning factor, protecting factor, whether it is COVID or whether it is tsunami or any other economic recession. That power, spiritual power, is going to shield us. The kavach is going to be there. So that is why India has that advantage of not only having economic power of growing at 7% GDP and now trying to reach $5 trillion economy. He has, Professor Sharma mentioned, that fifth in position, now moving towards third in position soon. So all this economic power. India has a very strong military power with all the indigenous defense technology inducted. But India is also the knowledge power and spiritual power. This is what is going to be the important factor for the this Amrit Kal, the next 25 years. If we are able to show the world how we can harness the spiritual power and spread it across and create that blissful world. And Swamiji, you have very lucidly, serenely, blissfully presented this view, and we are so grateful to you. We are all blessed today. The whole Amity group is blessed by your gracious presence and sharing your spiritual knowledge, wisdom. There is no dichotomy between science and spirituality. Both look at the ultimate truth. One through experimentation, the other through experiential learning. So the unifying factor perhaps is the silence of the mind and spirit. So this is a great opportunity for the country to show the world that how we can create a peaceful world. And also, the students, please practice whatever you learn. It should not remain only as a knowledge, but put that into practice. Today, what Swamiji said, that have a high purpose in life, then everything else disappears. All the peripherals, your challenges, obstacles, failures, criticism, everything disappears. So have a very big purpose, not just small, getting an employment, making a car, getting a car or house. These are all small aim. Keep a big aim in life. You want to create a happy world. So such purpose will lead you with focused, happy, and blissful way to reach the purpose of your life. Then realize that you have to give, not always get. Give, 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 without expecting to get. Then happiness is yours. Happiness is not anywhere from outside. It is there within you. You are embodiment of happiness. You are a spiritual being who has come to this world to realize human experience. Realize that you are this Atma, not this body playing a role of a vice chancellor or a chancellor or a Swamiji. So you are a spiritual being who has come to this world. So if you realize, you are the embodiment of everything. So with that, thank you so much, Sharmaji, for bringing this great, the spiritual guru to us. And we are all blessed by your initiative, Professor P.B. Sharma. He himself is a spiritually evolved, the Vice Chancellor we are proud to have. And also Sanjana for bringing and coordinating this lecture so well. And Swamiji, come more often, bless us, so that we want to set the trend for the whole world, to create that world which you are talking about through our future global citizens who are sitting in this hall, who are there in all our educational 12 universities, 18 campuses abroad, and 28 schools. So we really want to contribute to your mission of creating this blissful world. So please keep blessing us, and we will serving the humanity the way you expect us. Thank you so much.
Not only we are good, we are ready to spread the goodness around the globe and make sure we are proud of the children. But take this seriously. It does not depend on what I and Swami do, normally do. The future will be decided and dictated by what you do, how you conduct yourself responsibly to create a world in which you want to live. And therefore, we are spending all the efforts in mind to bring the very best places to start, to inspire you to be good, do good, and of course, be good, and make others also be good, so that the people around you say, he is a very good friend. That kind of message must come. All the best to you, and thank you so much once again for spreading a highly relevant knowledge.
I request the students to kindly be seated for 2 more minutes. Let the vote of thanks be over. I invite Rear Admiral K.K. Pandey, Director HR, to give the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, guys. Just bear with us for 2 minutes, please. We should conclude in a formal manner. So, dear students, please sit down. Well, sir, it's an honor for me to give a special vote of thanks for this special occasion, starting with our own, my colleague, Dr. Sanjana Ved, for organizing this event and getting connected with you and ensuring that you could spare your time and be here with us. The ball was set rolling by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor P.B. Sharma, whose words are so inspiring, and our students, faculty, and everybody always loves to hear him and cherish his golden words. He has highlighted many things, including that science is for all, and we should all look and care for our Mother Earth. We should all remember that. He has also highlighted that we should take care of our health and happiness through the self-discipline. What better example than our own Vice Chancellor, Professor P.B. Sharma, whose 75th birthday we celebrated just 2 days ago. 75th birthday, and he is so active. And it's a result of a self-discipline and motivation. The way you motivate yourself, and he doesn't look like 75. He can be easily passed off as just about 55. Finally, my sincere gratitude to Swamiji for gracing the occasion and being here with us. In fact, you touched so many things, but I have seen many lectures here. Never this house is so full, and also the balcony. That's because of your inspiring words, the way you narrated things. I had list of things, but I think since the time is short, I'll just say that the way you narrated through a story, and it will remain with them for long and with all of us for long to imbibe and practice it for the future. So very thankful to you, sir. Thank you all. Thank you, dear students. Thank you, deans and faculty members. Thank you.
And we continue to discuss and discover how we build, how we approach, how we love. If we think we should have a good, we have discovered the next six sites. Let me tell you guys very happy with you.
So much for being here. Have a good day.